This is a disaster. Hey guys, welcome back to Disaster Datsun. In this video we're going to continue working on the Datsun 260Z. Now based on our last video where we've got this front nose section all repaired and welded in, and we've got all this tacked in as well. You may have seen our last. Well, in this video we're going to continue working on this engine bay, get it all cleaned up, and then start working on this chassis rail. So let's grab some tools and let's crack on. So let's grab some tools and let's crack on. Right, so as well as having 10 trillion gallons of filler on the back of the car, and the side of the car, and the top of the car, and the inside of the car, there's also a lot of filler in this situation here. Now, I can see that there's an old repair that's been put in here and a couple of weld spots here. I have no idea what were they thinking. There's filler inside of cracks and crevices that I didn't know existed on a car. And the filler goes all the way up here, so I've no doubt there's more filler elsewhere. There's also a big dent here that I've no idea how a dent has got in there that's dented in that way. Well, there's that to repair. There's also, I've just noticed, there's also a nice big juicy repair patch in here, which I'm definitely looking forward to repairing that one. This is a disaster. The more I look, the more I don't want to look. Right, so I've cleaned this up. I'm going to continue cleaning all this up and all of this. I'm going to probably take this battery tray out, and it seems solid enough, but I dare say that when I take the paint off it's going to be absolutely toast anyway, but we'll see how that goes. I dare say I've got bits to repair in here as well. I'm going to continue cleaning this up and taking the 10 billion barrels of filler off of the engine bay, and see what condition it's in. Yeah. Right, so as you can see, there is a big patch panel in here. There's also a big patch panel that comes down this chassis rail. There's a big hole here. The chassis rail isn't even connected to this inner outer arch, whatever it's called. There's a big mess going on in here. I'm gonna take the battery tray out. I'll continue cleaning out all this corner. I'll get down this chassis rail, and hopefully there's no more surprises. Right, this is actually worse than I expected this corner to be. I thought with the battery tray being fairly in decent condition, I thought underneath there would be also in fairly decent condition, but as you can see, yeah, it's not in very good condition. It's been jammed up with sealant and with filler, and it's not too good, to be honest. So there's not really much to clean up in here because it's absolutely destroyed. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go to the other side, this inner side here, and I'm going to start cleaning this inner wing up, so I can see exactly what I need to replace on this inner side. Hopefully there's not too much, but I do know that this needs a huge plate in here and a lot of this chassis rebuilding as well, especially on that underside. Right, this this is an absolute disaster. I'll talk about this section in just a second, but this whole section needs fully rebuilding. Now, this has also been replaced. This isn't actually the original, and this comes all the way down and gets welded to the floor pan down here. There is actually a weld mark that you can see just here. Now, I'm going to have to cut just about all of this out and replace all of this just up to this point here, because it's just, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 panels making this, and you can see the welds on every single one of them. They've not even tried to hide these welds, so I've no idea what these people that did this are thinking. I mean, there's another patch here, there's another patch here. This is actually the original, which is rusted through. This looks like it's been cut down here for whatever reason. Nice patch panel there, nice patch panel there. Probably very thin. I've got a very small patch panel in here, and all of this. So it's safe to say that all of this needs rebuilding.
Some people think I look like Batman. Some people think I look like Superman. But I am Restoration Man.
Right, I've made a huge mess, as you can see from Right, so this panel is the other one that I wanted to talk about. I mean, there's loads of panels that have been poorly welded and fabricated on this car, but this is the other one that I wanted to talk about. Now, this is probably really thin metal, just like the rest of the patch panels, and they've welded it over the old section, which has been rusted. Now, if the bottom of the chassis rail has just gone, surprisingly. The inner part of this is, I can feel the old chassis rail section, which doesn't feel too bad actually. But basically, to fill a couple of holes, probably like this one in this corner, they've basically just popped a panel on here, and they've welded it across the top, and they've probably just pinched it in here and bent it around the chassis rail. For whatever reason, I have no idea why. I mean, the proper way to do this is to cut the old section out, make an L piece, replace that, and then build the bottom of the chassis rail. But they've just bodged it basically, and you can see all of this weld in this corner that they've just jammed in there. There's loads of weld in this corner that they've jammed in there. They've overlaid this structural piece here for whatever reason, and it just looks an absolute mess, to be honest. So as you can see, I kind of got carried away with cleaning this inner arch section, but it's all done now, just about. I've just got this top section to do here, which I can see more repairs up here. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I actually want to, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I mean, I want to cut out all these sections here. Everything needs to go. This I need to cut out, all this needs to go, this needs to go, this needs to go. I need to take out all these bad repairs here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out here, and I'm actually going to start cleaning up this chassis rail just like I said I was going to. What I'll try and do is I'll try and cut here and try not to go too deep so I don't go into the old chassis section, because I want to see what sort of condition this old chassis section is in, to see what they've covered up. So let me get this straight. They've welded a big bead across this edge to strengthen that edge, and then they've put a big panel over the old chassis rail and that bead that goes all the way to the inside. And this is and as you can see, this inner section here is all rusted out, and it was only connected by these two areas here, which these two areas here and here on the bottom are actually good. Now I can see another small patch repair underneath a patch repair. That's crazy. Like, I don't understand why they've done that. This chassis rail seems in good condition here. Right, so looking underneath, there's actually still two panels here. So there's this skin here, but then there's another skin on the inside with a gap between them slightly. Oh, I actually expected that to come out there, but it's actually there. So that's now between the two panels. What is going on there? Right, so this is the original, which comes up to... Oh, right, so this is the original that goes all the way through, because I can feel it in there, and then they've welded this panel on the top of the original, and then welded this panel on the top of the panel that they've welded on, which makes no sense. This here should fire all the way through, just like the other side. There shouldn't be this panel here or this panel here. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut this little section out here and try and expose the original, which I tried to do last time, but then I found another patch panel. Right, so this is the original. So on top of the original, it's had 1 and 2 patch panels put on. Why? I have no idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it properly, and I'm going to cut all the bad stuff out, and I'm going to weld good stuff back in. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this whole situation out. So I'm going to retain, there's like a plate here and a plate down here. I'm going to retain them. I'm going to cut everything else out. So we've got a big hole here. And then what we can do is we can make a new piece and butt weld it on and do it properly, protect it all, clean everything up inside there, just like we did on the other side. Look at the amount of welds on here. I mean, what is this about? Why is there a big blob of weld in here? Why have they done this? This panel disappears. This used to go down here. There's a bit of weld there. The rest of this chassis rail is good, so I'm going to use this as a reference point and these as a reference point to actually build the new chassis rail. So Right, okay, so I've made this piece now. That fits just in there. So I've marked this out on the back side, which is actually, I've lost it. I've also marked this out as well, and this is for this bracket, which I can pop on there. I do need to refabricate this as well, but that'll be in a future video. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this bottom section off, but I'm going to cut through this this angle thing here that's inside here. And the reason for that is because that'll help me place this when I do put it back on. Right, so unfortunately my phone stopped recording, but what I've done is I've cut this section off here. So this was a big L shape. I cut down and I cut this section off here, and that's so I can obviously retain this. What I also did was I put these two parts together like this. I placed that on that, and then I removed this piece, and then I scribed a line on this inside here because this is a little bit narrower than what this is here. I cut that off, as you can see here, and then I've cut down here and bent this in because that's exactly what the chassis rail does on the inside. So I've bent that in there so that makes that nice shape, and then when I offer this up, it meets here and it meets here as well, and it also meets down here. I do want to pull that off there slightly so I can get a nice gap for when I'm butt welding, and that'll close that gap up there as well. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. We've made these panels. All we need to do is unstitch them little sections, pop them onto here, make that inner section, and then we can get everything welded back in. Make sure you catch us in our next Datsun video, where we're going to continue on this chassis rail and clean up this inner arch properly. Like, make it all nice and shiny. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Thank you for all the support so far, and we will catch you in the next one.